Hello everyone and welcome to Dutch Greybeard. I just saw the June wrap-up of Lee Durfee, whose channel I follow religiously. You should check out his channel. The man had read 24 books this last month. One book, Flint by Louis L'Amour, he read in 1 hour. Wow. I'm not that fortunate in my reading tempo. I'm a slow reader at best. Besides, this last month a lot of my attention was focused on work. I just started a new assignment which takes up a lot of my concentration and time. I also spent a lot of time on important and ongoing family matters which I won't go into here. And thirdly, I spent time trying to make these videos at which I'm not very experienced yet, but I'm thoroughly enjoying doing it. But nevertheless, I did some reading. In June, I only read 4 books. So this is going to be a very short video. My total page count of the month is 1859. For me, reading has nothing to do with the quantity, but everything with the quality of the books I read. I won't let myself be lured into some sort of race, although I can admire the reading speed of someone like Lee Durfee. I continued reading the Rift War saga by Raymond T. Feist. Last May, I finished reading the first book in The Magician, Apprentice, and the first book I read in June, of course, was the follow-up on that, which is Magician Master. This one is 499 pages. Next, I read Silverthorn, which is the third book, if you count Magician as 2 books. This one is 343 pages. And I read the closing book in this series, which is A Darkness at Sethanon. This one is 430 pages. This is a series which I will recommend to anyone at any time. It's such a good story with exactly the kind of fantasy elements that I love most. There are quite some philosophical, in-depth pages that I simply devoured. Time permitting, one of these days I will be doing a full review on these 4 books that have kept me such good company. Then, book number 4 is my return to the Wheel of Time. This is the 8th book in the series The Path of Daggers, which has 587 pages. Even though returning to this amazing world Robert Jordan has built was some sort of homecoming for me, this book was the least for me so far. There's not very much happening in this book, even though everything that is happening is wonderful to read. I'm afraid that I'm also experiencing the reading slum that many booktubers are talking about, starting with this book and the next 2, Winter's Heart and Crossroads of Twilight. Still, this book scored 4 stars out of 5. I cannot imagine ever reading one book in this series that will truly disappoint me. So, there it is, 4 books in my 6 months of being a fantasy reader so far. The only books I know I'm going to read in July are the 2 next in the Wheel of Time series. Hopefully they won't confirm the anticipated reading slum too much. And if they do, I'll have one consolation. With about 600 pages each, these are the shortest books in the series. And what else I'm going to read remains a mystery, even to me. People who have watched my TBR videos or the Insane Book Haul video know that I've got a whole bookcase chock full of fantasy books I want to read sooner rather than later. So every time when I choose a new read, I stand in front of these shelves and pick up the book that speaks to me the loudest at that moment. Thank you very much for watching this short video. Until we meet again at Dutch Greybeard.